Hey, 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 welcome to this cool spot. This is your co host, generally your co host, but your host today, Sharita, aka Free the Poet. And today we are having our Thursday business spotlights. We are going to, of course, acknowledge that our Mr. Cool Spot, Mr. Lamoy Destina, is running a little bit behind today. He is currently just stuck with his first job right now. So we're just going to hold it down here at the Cool Spot and continue on with our show today. So I'm going to bring up our first guest, and her name is Chef Shemecka, and she's going to tell us a little bit about what she has going on. So just to let you know, she is a professional chef, a nutritionist. She helps to develop nutrition programs, and she is also big with she's a holistic specialist. So we're going to bring her on and we're going to talk to her and see what she has going on. Okay. Hi, Shemecka. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm
I'm doing
doing
good.
well. I'm doing well. Well, thanks for stopping by the cool spot this evening.
Thanks for
So,
inviting me. I
Shamika,
appreciate it.
of course, anytime you're always welcome. We do want to give you an opportunity to kind of tell us a little bit about specifically what you have going on outside of being a chef, holistic medicine, or just giving us a little bit more details about it.
Well, I am a chef. I also have a medical background as well. So I
Okay.
intertwine my medical background with my cooking and nutrition to help me understand my clients better or students because I also teach too.
Oh,
Along with
wow.
with that, that's where my Slice 325 comes in, and that stands for Serving Locations Inviting Culinary Education. 325 days out of the year. So that means you have 325 days to ask me a question. 40, I'm not answering any. So that's where that number comes from.
Okay.
Um, with the health and nutrition, it's kind of our pillar program is called Creative Sustainability. So what
Okay.
that is kind of like home economics with a twist because we add the arts in it. As you see, have you worked with me
Yes.
before? We add the arts and music in our curriculum. So if you learn your states in the song, you learn your numbers in the song, I can get you to learn this recipe in the song. So we kind of teach the diversity of food. So if you don't like this, we'll find if you don't like that, but we also find a song to help you remember the recipe. Like a couple of them we did like Katy Perry cupcakes. The kids remember
Ooh.
that. Amigo slider. So each slider was a part of the Amigos, and we did Toby Keith salad. For some old ones.
Ooh.
So that's
Okay.
what that's what we have going on. We kind of make it fun. You have to like change with the times a little bit. And plus, I'm a unconventional teacher, as you can see. This is how I normally dress for my classes, or if I'm working, you know, just so
Uh-huh.
I can get your attention, at first, because just like presentation, we eat with our eyes also. And I
Right.
also am a urban farmer now. So I'm
Oh,
able
wow.
um, grow different fruits and vegetables and things like that and sell them to schools, colleges, or anywhere else. And I teach container garden, introducing people to microgreens. So if you don't like vegetables, that's the easy way to sneak in the nutrition that you normally wouldn't
Hmm.
get if you don't like beets. We'll find something. I'll give you a beet in a micro form, so you really can't taste it because it kind of takes on the taste of something else. Um,
Hmm. Can you explain microform? Because I mean, I'm not sure about other people. I know I've never heard of that before.
Microgreens I call easiest way to sneak in the nutrition that you normally wouldn't get. So if you have broccoli, you don't like broccoli. What I do is I grow it into the microform, which is probably like 3 to 4 inches. So that
Mm-hmm.
way, eat a cup full of broccoli is like eating a whole head of broccoli. So
Oh.
you still getting the nutrition because it's at a micro level. The easiest way to understand that is, how a young snake is more potent than an adult snake.
Mm-hmm.
Same concept. Since you're getting it at the micro level, it's more potent than a full grown vegetable.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Um. So now, if somebody wanted to, of course, we know that Slice 325 is the movement. Now, what if someone wanted to specifically, some like parents right now that are stuck at home with their children and wanting to like speak with you or find out like how to obtain some of these microgreens? Like, how would they do that? Would they just reach out to Slice
They can
325
just reach
or?
out to Slice 325 on the website is the email. so they can just email me. And I also do classes too on how to grow microgreens. I just did one with the Fix It Sisters, where it was
Uh-huh.
a worldwide broadcast of how do you grow microgreens at home, and that was really dope. So yeah, they can go to slice325.com. I mean .org, and all the information is up there. And on the opposed to that one, I do have a regular catering business, and that's called Not Your Kitchen, where we make food sexy. So it's kind of like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing that I got
Yeah, now
going.
talk some more about that. Tell us a little something else. So it's for the grown folks.
Yeah, that's for grown folks. Slice
Okay.
325 is family friendly.
Okay.
Not Your Kitchen is mostly grown folks in that. With that one, I also add music and art element because my sister has the drawing gene. She's an artist, but I know how to play with my food very well to make it look
Okay.
pretty. So
Mhm.
I can intertwine with that one. So with that, we introduce like the hip hop violin and things like that. So you can kind of what I call dinner music, because if I go to the restaurant and I hear not to say anything wrong with like opera and things like that, but it doesn't put me in the mood to eat. But if you can do Bruno Mars and Cardi B Please Me in a violin form, you're gonna be more inclined to have a better
Yeah, that's a
dinner.
little saucy now.
You know.
Right.
So we try to make it a pleasant, memorable
Mhm.
experience. And I, like I said, arts, I love music is everything to me, even though I don't know how to sing. I used to play the clarinet, but I still love all genres of music. And
Mhm.
with the arts and also with poetry too. You have dinner with poetry too, playing in the background to give you a better experience. So it's kind of like you stimulating a whole bunch. You stimulate your taste buds, your feelings, your mind, and everything else. So when you leave, you have a better experience.
So we're stimulating all five senses as we're eating and indulging and creating those memories and those bonds.
Just like it goes
I
down in
see
the
what
DM, it
you're
goes down at the table too.
doing. Okay. In the DM and the table. Okay. Now, Shamika, let me ask you this question. As far as the Not Your Kitchen side of things, is there a website or can they link to that from the Slice 325?
Nope, that's a different website. It's notyourkitchen.com.
Or is it all the way typed out, the your?
No, yo, NOTYO, Southern Kitchen.
Okay. .com?
.com.
All right, y'all know I'm multitask, right? So I like, so when we do these podcasts, I add the stuff at the bottom. That's why I was like, let me make sure I got it right. So not yo. So
I know
sorry if you hear me.
when I come in your kitchen, it's not yours no more.
I like that though. We gotta talk about this. Now look, my daughter's 7, so we might have to, have like, come on, Chef Shamika, let's have a rendezvous. Okay, so with everything going on with COVID, how has it been on this chef side? With being a chef and having to deal with so many children being at home because of COVID, nutritional need wise, what is it that you're hearing, or what is it that you've had to potentially do more of?
More of virtual learning, and I'm more of a
Okay.
hands-on teacher. So that was a big challenge to me to try to be creative, to be able to touch them through the screen. So what we've been able to do is that now that I can see them through the screen, because before, if we were hands-on, I can tell you if you're doing best practice as far as hand washing, cross-contamination, and things
Hmm.
like that. So now that they're home, when you're home, you kind of have a more kind of laid back atmosphere. And I can tell you, you did that wrong. That's not right. You don't cross this.
Hmm.
So I can actually see what they're doing at home versus when they were at the class and doing something different. But virtual classes have also have been abled me to reach more people, because a lot
Okay.
of people are already sitting by their computers, and it's easy for them to me to just to send a link and say, hey, jump on or whatever and ask questions. And I like Zoom, but
Okay.
I'm not one of those Zoom people that share screens, because whatever I do, I'm like, this is such and such a. You see this? Like,
Right.
some people don't like to read anyway. So if I show you what it is and I'm more interactive, you kind of retain it a whole lot better. So
Okay.
I really adapted pretty well to the online, but before it was kind of challenging with that. And also with the nonprofit side, we relied heavily on fundraisers and things like that. So we're looking at different ways to do fundraisers online and
Hmm.
things and of that such, just to keep that program going to be sustainable.
Okay. Now, question, with the virtual courses, is there a charge for the virtual courses?
Yes, it is, but it's a tax deductible charge, and it's according to what you
Mm,
like because you're supporting a nonprofit. So you're getting the education and also feeling good too, which you can write off on your taxes.
okay. So that's what everybody really needs to hear, that, hey, while there's a charge up front, when it comes to Uncle Sam, you can write it off.
Write it off.
Okay. Well, I think that, I think we've all learned some things, that we can make cupcakes and think about Katy Perry. Okay. We can
Mhm.
sing those. We can make them sliders and think about the Migos. And that we can make food fun in a healthy light and
Yeah,
not so much as a just we want to eat snacks and make food that way, but to even like you said, like the microgreens, I think that's phenomenal for
and
picky eaters.
and it makes the plate look pretty also. And also,
Hmm.
I introduced how cauliflower comes in three different colors. Most people didn't know that. It comes in purple, orange, and white. Eggplants come in different colors. So when you
Hmm.
try to get your kid or somebody to eat something and they just identify it as the same, eggplant is purple, you can feed them eggplant, but it could be white, but it's the same thing. But since it
Ooh.
doesn't look like something that they don't like, they're more
Hmm.
inclined to eat it. So it's kind of tricky a little bit. So that's what makes it fun. So
Hmm.
when we do like farmer market field trips and Sprouts field trips and all of these field trips, I
Hmm.
show them the different things that maybe they wouldn't see. They would see in the store, but never knew how to didn't know how to identify or didn't know what it was. And we also teach table manners,
Oh.
dining etiquette for young and old, because some of
Mm.
the older people would like to go to some of these really nice restaurants, but not too sure what fork to use or what glass to drink out of, so they'll
Mm.
feel comfortable. So I take the stigma out of it, like, you know what, you could do this. We're gonna practice this. So we
Right.
practice that also. Budgeting, couponing, navigating the grocery stores and farmers markets to tell you when you go in Sprouts, you stay in the middle. Don't go on them outside aisles. You're gonna pay some money. You stay in the
Hmm.
middle of Sprouts and then you go to the meat department. Now, for trash bags and stuff like that, go to Walmart or the dollar store. Don't go to Sprouts.
Right.
I tell them what to look for when they go different places of how to get the best price for your money and get your money to
Hmm.
stretch. Because I don't want you to be in there doing life decisions whether I need to be buy Pampers or grocery or um,
Hmm.
medicine or diapers or something like that. I want you to be like Ti. You can have whatever you like, but if you knew how to
Oh,
put it out, you
we're
know.
gonna talk. Shamika, I feel like you about to make me relearn some stuff because my mom was one of them. I'm going to one, maybe two stores, and that's
Uh,
it. So I'm not going to this store for my. I have friends like, I'm gonna go get my meat from this store, and I'm like, how many stores we gotta go to? I just can't go to the same one. And they're like, you getting what from Walmart? Don't do that, Rita. And I'm like, okay, all right, my bad. So I think that's phenomenal that you're informing people you still can go to these higher end stores, just get exactly what you need and what's going to be most cost efficient.
yes.
And okay, we're gonna have to do some. We're gonna have to do some more partnership in Shamika. I mean, I know I did.
I like to
I
work with
did.
y'all.
I was. I know. I remember even the how I met Shamika was we worked with the group I was in, the group I'm in called Press Play Poets, and we performed at one of your Slice 325 events, and that was beautiful in and of itself, bridging that gap from ages, generations,
Mhm.
being able to talk to some older ladies that were like, hey, I like poetry when we were doing juke joints, and it's like, oh my gosh, like y'all were doing poetry and what else happened, and being able to
Mhm.
talk to the younger ones that were there that were just intrigued and being able to share this meal and this amazing meal. I remember it was good. I remember we took food
That's
home and we was
another
like,
thing.
oh
Just like Millie don't burn chicken, I don't give you hot dogs and hamburgers, honey. You get a meat,
no.
sausage, and vegetable at my events.
Yeah, I mean they were full out like catered plates, like, and not the cheap to go boxes. It was the quality to go boxes, and I was like, she was like, oh, take this home to your baby. So, Madison was able to enjoy as well, and understanding that, hey, we can have fun, we can do events, and we can have good food and it be reasonable. So
Yeah, and
I
I
think
love
that's
diversity. I want to bring everybody together, even if we just cordial. Like you
mhm,
said, the older ones had amazing time. They talked about that
mhm.
for about a good 2 weeks, and the
Oh,
younger ones was like, I didn't know, old lady, like, I was like, well, go out louder.
right.
You don't like same thing. Go have a conversation, and that makes me happy.
It did. It was a beautiful experience. Like I still can reflect back on it and take what I learned from that experience. And even one of the ladies, I talked to her later on. She wanted to come to a open mic I was hosting, and so
Mhm.
she was asking me, "Okay, now where you at again, and what time?" Okay, I'm not gonna make that one, but I'm gonna come to the next one. And just to know that she cared enough to contact me, like I met you, and I was like, "We did, and we talked about them juke joints." So I thought that was phenomenal. Shamika, I definitely think it's so much that we can learn from programs like yours and knowing that they exist. And I think that's one of the big things a lot of people don't know that they exist. And so we'll definitely do our part in getting it out there. And when the outside open back up, and there's the decrease of COVID cases, we gotta do something. I think we should just do a big cookout somewhere. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna be in
Well,
contact. Shamika.
if you said you want us to know something new. I'm trying to put together a golf tournament, a fundraising golf tournament. I'm thinking
Okay.
about it, but I wanted a golf tournament not to be like so quiet. This, that, and the other. I was thinking of like DJ, this, that, and the other.
Mhm.
Bringing a lot of African American golfers or
Okay.
people or brown, black, whatever people out to have a different golfing experience. Because I'm a little weird. I wanted to be a
Uh-huh.
little different, but very tactful.
Okay. Shamika, let's talk about it. Outside of this episode, we'll talk
Mhm.
about it and let's figure out how we can partner together and see what we can make happen. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, Shamika, is there anything else you would like to? This is your. You can do a 60-second wrap up of just a real concise breakdown what you wanted to know, where you want them to follow, and
You can follow me at slice325.org. Also, not just slice325.org is the nonprofit. Not Your Kitchen is the catering. If you would like to know about what we do and the people that we serve, also you can find that on the website. And you also can go to great nonprofits to check out what people are saying about me. And also leave a comment if you like too. Um, we do travel. We're out of Raleigh, but we go from Virginia all the way to South Carolina. So we're trying to. We feel like if Ronald McDonald can have a house, we can have a house in every state too. So that's what we do. And feel free to message me with any type of questions. Like I said, you have 325 days to ask me a question, boo boo, and I'm here to answer it. But thank y'all so much for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
no problem. Anytime. Sorry, y'all. My allergies are going haywire to cut my camera off. Sorry. Thank you for coming and sharing with us. Oh, y'all, sorry. My allergies, y'all. It's been crazy. It's been haywire. Mm. Thank you for coming on the
You're
show
so welcome.
today and stopping by with us and giving us this good stuff and giving us things to look forward to when the outside opens back up. So we'll be looking forward to this golf tournament with a whole bunch of black and brown people, okay?
Yeah.
So we'll be in contact and thank you so much, Chef Shamika, okay?
All right. And if there's anything that I can do for anybody, let me know too.
Okay. Well, we're all about partnership and networking all together. So let's grow. Let's all grow together. Okay. All
Yes.
right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye bye. All right, y'all. Y'all heard it here. That was Chef Shamika. Just letting you know what she has going on her side. Now, the next guest that we're going to spotlight today is actually going to be two of them. It is Staci and Alicia. And we're going to bring them up to discuss and talk about what they have going on in the coming month. So bear with me just 1 second as we bring them up. Give me one moment. All right. All right. Give me just 1 second. Looks like we're just having a little moment for Stacy to come back on. And we hope that you all are enjoying the show thus far and what we have going on. We have a couple more amazing guests that we're going to talk with as well. So we just want y'all to stay tuned with us and just continue to hang out with us. Bear with me one more time. And don't forget, if you are a business entity that has something going on and you want us to know about it, please let us know. Please reach out to the cool spot nc@gmail.com. Let us know that you're interested in being featured in one of our spotlight um, episodes. We would love to get you up here. Again, right now it is a free service, and we're just wanting to expand and make sure that people have access to know what's going on and to be able to see all the great things that are coming up. All right, we're about to bring Stacy on, Miss Stacy and Miss Alicia. Hey, how you doing? Hey, Stacy. Hey,
Hey,
Alicia. Can you hear me?
hey, Sharita.
Hey, darlings.
Yeah, we
um,
hear you great.
Gotcha. Well, we have you on, and we want to first thank you for stopping by the cool spot and agreeing to hanging out and kicking it with us today. And I know that you
No
all,
problem.
I know that you all are partnering with Pack It Up Nonprofit and Natural Nourished LLC and Kappa charitable funds about a back to school book bag drive. I've got a little bit of information that y'all can check it out at back to school drive with two exclamation points. But we would love for you all to expand
Right.
on it so that we can figure out how we can help and what's going on and find out time dates and all that good stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, so basically we are putting together a back to school drive. So during the pandemic, everything has been crazy, right? So kids have to go back to school, whether it's remote or whether it's going to be physical in the spring. So in combination with the climate of everything that's going on in the African American community,
Hmm.
just wanted to throw something for our actual kids, our actual low income or Black kids rather, in the southeast area of Raleigh.
Hmm.
And so it'll be August the 1st,
Okay.
from 11 to 1 or until all the book bags are gone. So right now it will be at the Kappa House, and that is it's in like a little remote neighborhood, but it's off of God, what is that street? Raleigh Boulevard. So Raleigh Boulevard or like New Bern Avenue. It's in the cut.
Okay.
Sunnysbrook. So it is like right in the heart of Southeast Raleigh.
Okay. And how can someone
So
donate
basically,
to the book drive?
excuse me, we just wanted to do something for the community. We both have a background in education. And I just thought of one day, just wanted to do something, just for the community during the pandemic. And
Hmm.
so I reached out to Alicia. So basically, right now, we are it's 200 students. Right now, we are at 100, which is right now, but we can do better.
Okay.
Our link is also at our Back to School Drive Facebook page.
Hmm.
And so you can follow that as well. It's $20. Just $20 provides one child with a book bag and a supply. The supplies that they would need for the beginning of the school year rather.
Okay. So let me make sure I heard this correctly. So you're looking. The
Yes,
goal is
ma'am.
We
the
definitely
goal that we will
are
achieve, right?
looking for monetary donations, but if
Okay.
anybody has actual materials or items that they want to donate, we are definitely more than welcome to that. Mask, if anybody wants to donate, anything like that. We're also looking for if anyone works at maybe Food Line or Walmart and have
Mhm.
connections with men that are able to donate.
Okay. All right. So, wow, mom, like you said, the $20
So
donation.
the goal that we will achieve is 200. Right now, we want to do 200. Right now, we're at 100.
Okay.
And so, we have a week left. We can definitely do it by that time if we have enough people. Like Alicia said, necessarily give monetarily. It can be, with supplies as well. That'll be great.
Okay. And how can they reach you to drop off supplies? Would they just DM that Instagram account?
Hmm.
Okay. Well, I think that that
So
is
yeah, $20
phenomenal.
donation. The link is at the Back to School Drive on Facebook.
Okay.
And so you can definitely follow the link there, or just hit us up um at Alicia Marquis or Staci D'sha, and just let us know if you want us to pick up supplies.
Oh, that's awesome. So you all are even willing to come and pick up the supplies from people. I'm sorry, it's a little bit hard to hear you. I'm gonna say this, Alicia. I can't hear you. I'm sorry, sweetie.
That's on Facebook. They can DM on Facebook.
Okay.
Um, and so just let us know.
Okay. And is this
Yeah, yeah. And so right now it is from 11 to 1.
okay?
We will say that it is drive through
Okay.
due to social distancing.
Okay.
And also it is 2 book bags per car, so that we can service more of the community.
Okay. So it's 2 book bags per car. Okay. I'm gonna make
We
sure we
have
add that.
divided it up into categories so that we can serve the right
Mhm.
students. So we have K through second in the category of a book bag that we're going to give out because they're going to have different kind of supplies. And then we have third through eighth book bags for
Hmm. That is phenomenal.
yes.
Because, like you said, it's
We'll be
important.
willing
Like the
to come pick up the supplies.
right.
But as far as like the actual day, there will be drive through. Um,
Okay.
oh, okay. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you a little bit better now.
Okay.
Uh huh.
I'm sorry. Let me speak louder. I'm being cute and soft. So let me present pretty.
Look, you cute girl. Go ahead. Go ahead and say what you gotta say, girl.
But yeah, so I was saying that we have divided the book bags on the day of the actual giveaway.
Say that again, Sharita.
No, no, no. So you said you were dividing. Okay, and I said I think it was a great idea that you are dividing into sections because, like, the school age kids do need different things after they've reached third grade. Base.
Say that one more time.
You hear me? I'm sorry. Me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Stacy, Alicia. Okay, yeah. All right. I was saying that I think it's phenomenal that um you all are able to separate the supplies by the school ages so that people can get exactly what it is that they need for the event. I think that's phenomenal. And so we'll make sure that we share it so that we can try to see all that can donate and push to
Mm-hmm.
get this done as well, and be on the lookout. We'll make sure that we can get something to you all as well. All right. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you all coming on the cool spot and stopping by so that we can make sure that we support our communities and, making sure that they have what they need in preparation. Okay. All right. Again, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you would like to say before we depart? Nope.
It is. I think you're
I'm sorry. It's a little bit hard
can
to
you hear me?
hear you.
Okay, can you
You're
hear me
in and out.
well?
Try one more time for me. Yes. Yeah, I can hear you.
I think it is like
All right. Um, I'm sorry. It looks like we're not able to hear Stacy and Alicia anymore, but we'll make sure that you're able to follow them on their pages, and we'll make sure we add all that stuff to our page, and we continue sharing what it is that they have going on. We do have another guest coming on up, and her name is Aalanah. I want to make sure I said that correctly. She might get me. I might have said it wrong, but I'm gonna confirm with her in a second, and I'm gonna bring her up. She is a naturalist, and she's a founder of a skincare product called Raw by Aalanah. And we're going to talk about the importance of natural skincare. And I'm pretty sure that she can talk to me about, my homemade freckles that I have here, guys. So we're going to see what personal help I can get too. Okay, guys. So we're going to go ahead and bring her on up. And did I say it right? Is it Aalanah? Did I say it right?
It's Elena.
Aalanah, I'm sorry. We're going to get it
That's
together.
okay.
All right, Aalanah, I'm sorry. But thank you for coming to hang out with the cool spot, Aalanah. And we did, I know, I'm gonna do it over since I said your name wrong. So Aalanah, she is a naturalist and founder of a skincare products Raw by Aalanah. And so we're just gonna kind of go over the importance of natural skincare and just kind of find out about what she has going on and how we can plug in and get some products, find out some information, and go from there.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really appreciative of you all extending this platform to me to be able to share my products with everyone. So, thank you.
Yeah. No problem, no problem. And Aalanah, how long have you been, or how did you get started in skincare products? Like, what made you want to start?
Okay. So really what got me started was when I decided to return, or yeah, I say return natural or go natural. So my junior year of high school, I decided to go natural. So I cut all my hair off. And then
Okay.
just through the process and the journey of learning to accept my natural hair, I started experimenting with different oils and different things to, cleanse my hair and just maintain this, Afro texture. And
Hmm.
so through that, I realized like, oh, well, this is good, to use for my hair, provides moisture and everything. So now why don't I try something for my skin? And so at that point, that's when I started, looking into like African black soap and then the uses of different oils and the properties and everything that they have to, combat different skin conditions. And
Hmm.
so from there, and just started experimenting with that, just making my own mixes and, of course,
Hmm.
researching everything to make sure that it was, appropriate to use on your skin and everything. And then I started doing that. And then towards the end of last year is when I switched over to exclusively using my own skincare products. And
Okay.
so
That's big. That's major.
yeah, so at that point, that's when, I saw that, okay, well, this really does work. It has like, made my skin soft. Whenever I have like an eczema flare up or something, it does help with that. And even with acne and other, skin conditions that we typically come across being African American or having darker
Hmm.
skin.
Well, first off, your skin looks very flawless, by the way.
Yeah.
So I guess we can kind of I'm gonna let us find out how to find you and follow you and obtain products before I ask some personal questions,
Okay.
okay? So how can everyone follow you? Anybody that's looking to get some products, find out about how to better care for their skin or even their hair, because I see you have these gorgeous, this gorgeous crown of locks as well. I see your locks look
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank
So if
you.
someone's looking to even find products for maybe their locks, or their skin, how can they find your products?
So the best way to do that would be to like my page on Instagram, and it's just Raw by Aalanah. Or you can also follow me on Instagram, and the Instagram handle is the same name. If you prefer something a little more personal, you can email me at rawbyelena at gmail.com. And then outside of that, you can also text me at 919-295-6309.
Okay, so I have that as your Instagram is Raw by Aalanah,
Yeah.
and they can follow you there, or they can email you at rawbyelena@gmail.com,
Yes.
or, as long as they're going to keep it professional, they are able to text you.
Yeah, and that is just
Um,
business line. So
Gotcha.
I do observe business hours with that number, but
Okay. So 919-295-6309. You said they need to
yeah.
observe business hours.
Yes, please.
So at 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. only
Yes,
type
that would be
shindig.
perfect. And then on the
Okay.
weekends, like 12 to 4.
Okay. That's Monday through Friday. And then a 12 to 4 on the weekends. Gotcha. I just want to make sure as I'm putting it at the bottom for it to scroll that people just kind of know those hours. Because, sometimes,
Mhm.
unfortunately, we might not think about it and we're like, oh, it's 8 o'clock. I want to get this product or I want to talk to somebody. And we just want to make sure that everybody is being respectful about that as
Oh,
well.
yeah. And that is definitely understandable. So please feel free to message me at any time or text
Hmm.
at any time. I just can't guarantee a response unless it's between those hours, but I definitely will try to get back to you as soon as possible.
Okay. Now, in I know you said, in going through the process of getting back to your natural state of hair,
Hmm.
and I feel like I'm at that point, like I play around with oil, like I mix a whole bunch of different oils when I do my daughter's locks and my locks, and then I got to the point I'm like, I mean, if I'm putting it in my hair, I really could use this to oil my body, like I
Hmm.
could. And so it's interesting that you said the transition from doing that to being like, oh, I could play and do stuff with my own skin, like maybe like the problematic things that you say a lot of African Americans have, like hyperpigmentation, I know is a major thing. I personally suffer with hyperpigmentation, and then like the acne and things of that nature. So, and I know a lot of people are like, just use black soap. And I'm like, oh, that breaks my face out. That doesn't work. And so, is that like a common thing that you sometimes get from some people that have been told those common answers of, oh, go use Proactive or go use black soap? And they're like, it's not working for me.
Hmm. Yeah, that is definitely something that I've gotten, and then also just experiencing it on my own.
Hmm.
I've tried using Proactive and just other what is it? I'm forgetting the names, but just other treatments that were
Hmm.
typically suggested or referred to if we say we're having such and such problem.
Hmm.
But I found that those just aren't as effective. And then also, you have to worry about like the dosage with those. Whereas, like if you use too much, you could have like a chemical burn or something. Or
Hmm.
even with African black soap, if you use that too frequently, you can suffer from some like chemical burns and stuff as well, just due to how potent and intense the soap is. Um,
Hmm.
or
That's
at
something I
least in
never
my
knew.
experience, yeah.
Wow. Okay. So now, being that you have this business, is this something that um, you're just planning to take a whole? Are you going to take another holistic approach, or is it just kind of you just want to focus on natural skincare? Is there something else in the works?
Yeah, so I'll be doing both skincare and hair care. Um,
Okay.
so over the last, years and months, I have, I do think I have a pretty good, mix for both. Of course, it is, two separate ones for like hair and your skin. And then,
Mhm.
ones that have like different consistencies and different ingredients depending on the area that you do want to use it on. And then I also do offer like customizable mixes. So if
Hmm.
someone wants to, like if you're having a specific problem or if you're allergic to certain things, you can just email me that and we can set up a consultation. And during
Okay.
that time, I could, come up with a mix that I think would work for you. And then we could just, go from there and see how it goes.
Okay. So if someone wants to obtain a consultation, they could email you. Is there a cost for your consultations?
Not currently. For this month and the beginning of August, all consultations will be free. Um,
Now that's awesome. All right, expect an email, okay?
okay.
But in all seriousness, I think that that's phenomenal because a lot of times I think culturally, like we're kind of given those very generic answers or go to the dermatologist, and then a lot of times a lot of their stuff is sometimes too strong for our skin,
hmm
and that's not always a good thing either. And someone's like, shout out because that's my sister. Isn't it good? Isn't it a good feeling when you're like, my family's watching. They
Yeah.
see me. They know I'm working. Um, okay. And now let me ask you another question. Do you find a large amount of men that come to receive services, or is it still kind of like one of those where it's almost taboo, or is it kind of breaking that stigma where men are like, okay, I need help with my skin too?
I think that for certain people, it is still a little taboo.
Mhm.
And so far, I haven't had many men clientele at this
Mhm.
point. But I do think that, it is like a wave of consciousness going around, especially in the African American community, where
Mhm.
more men are starting to, really take control of their appearance and just, their bodies and just wanting the best for themselves. And so that's actually
Mhm.
some of the products that I offer. I do tailor them more towards like men or like a unisex approach. That
Mhm.
way men can feel comfortable knowing like, okay, well, this is good for me. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like a king. Because
Okay.
ultimately, that's what I want my products to do. I want men to see this and say like, oh yeah, this, it has me looking good. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like
Right.
a king. And I want women to feel like, oh yeah, this makes me feel like a queen. And just realize, you're in a power and just have something that can make your skin like represent the inner beauty within you.
I like that. Okay. Now, my next question to you with your product. So, being that you're starting to do some things for some men, so is that some like beard type of products?
Oh yeah, that will definitely be offered as well. So far, a lot of so for example, what I use on my hair, I
Mhm.
also use it on like my eyelashes and my
Mhm.
eyebrows, and it just helps to
Hmm.
like, thicken them up. So a lot of the products they have like a multi-use. So if you were to
Dual use.
buy, if you were to buy the like hair oil,
Mhm.
depending on the one that you buy, you could use that on like your eyelashes just to help thicken them up and grow. Your eyebrows, men can use it on their beards. So a lot of things do have multiple uses.
Okay. That's something I would have never thought about. Like, I know I hear some people talk about like eyelash serum, but I
Mhm.
don't think I would have ever thought, or I personally have ever thought, like, I'm gonna put this oil on my eyelashes. I mean, it is hair, so I mean, it makes sense to like nourish it and to assist it in growth. But I don't think it's anything I've ever. I think we think about more or less sometimes the not so good things. Like, I'm gonna put these lashes on, and
Yeah.
not think about maybe the danger or the damage that we're doing to our own lashes versus strengthening them to be strong on their own.
Yeah, and that's actually what led me into starting to use the oil on my lashes. I was using
Hmm.
like individual lashes, and it caused
Hmm.
mine to fall out. So from there, I was like, "Oh, I need to do
Wow.
something different." So I was like, "Well, this helps my hair, so let's see if it helps this," and it does.
That makes sense. The lash thing. Oh, I've had a horrible experience.
Yeah,
Okay. So now, with your natural products, is
mhm.
there any age ramifications with any of the products where you should be a certain age, or because it's all natural, it's kind of good to use? Of course, maybe not on an infant, but other than that, like maybe two and up, is that a thing, or is it curtailed to a certain age range?
I would say that it can be used on any age range. So far, I have not like had it used or seen it used on anyone under like the age of 4. But I am
Okay.
in the process of formulating those mixes. One thing I would suggest is just If you do want something to use like with your child, I would always lean towards something that's a little lighter. And so I do
Okay.
offer lighter mixes. That way, just since their skin is more sensitive, we want to make sure that we aren't, putting too much on.
Okay. And I also heard you say something about specifically like having eczema and
Mhm.
eczema flare ups. And I feel like it's something we really hear a lot in the black and brown community about eczema. And a lot of people say, it can be linked to what you're eating sometimes, but those flare ups, what makes a product different that curtails to eczema versus just your everyday product?
Okay. So the first, or I think the main thing with that is just since we're using like all natural ingredients,
Mhm.
and the specific product that I was referring to was my shea butter mix, which I call body batter, because it is like a nice whip consistency. And
Mhm.
just the ingredients and everything that I add into it, it really does like, um, one, it just really encourages moisture and moisture retention in your skin. So
Mhm.
it'll add moisture and then it'll also lock that moisture in. So a while back, a few years ago, I was going through like a few different eczema flare-ups, like right at the back of my neck.
Mhm.
I just exclusively started using the shea butter mix, and then that just took it away within like a matter of days.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. Okay. So, if you had to, as we sum up our section, if you had to have 60, not if you have to have, okay, you have 60 seconds to
Okay.
explain specifically, to someone, that might not know too much about, um, what you have going on to tell them why they should look into it. Like what, why is this a good company? Not just because it's yours and it's lovely, but why they should be just encouraged to do a little bit of research and to check out um, Aalanah's raw products.
Okay, thank you. So I would definitely say that this is something that you all should look into because one, everything is handmade and is made with love. And I really do put a lot of time, energy, and effort into making sure that the product is going to work for you and not
Hmm.
have any negative reactions. So you do have that assurance with everything being all natural. It's not as high of a risk versus using like Neutrogena or even Proactive or something for your skin.
Hmm.
That risk is significantly decreased due to everything being all natural. So one, the love that I put into everything. Two, everything being all natural. And then three, I would say just for myself from using everything and just even the journey that I've gone on to making the products and now using them, it really does
Hmm.
help you to love yourself more. Because as you're like improving your skin and everything is really just giving you an appreciation for your natural beauty. As you're using natural products, like you're becoming more in tune with what works for you, and it just really gives you an appreciation for your naturalness. And I just
Hmm.
want everyone to experience like the peace that comes along with that, just knowing that, okay, well, my skin is looking good in the sun. It's okay if I get, a
Hmm.
little tan because I still look good. And so
Hmm.
just, really just want, everyone to be inspired and empowered by my products.
Elena, I think that's awesome. I think that's just words for life. Loving, being natural, loving yourself and that peace. I think, those are just affirmations for life. And so being there for your products, that's even more of a reason why they should check them out.
Yeah.
We want to thank you so much for stopping by the Cool Spot. Aalanah, I'm glad I got your name right by the end. I'm
Um,
sorry. But I will definitely be personally emailing you so that we can chit chat soon. And thank you for stopping by the Cool Spot. And we look forward to seeing you. And your contact information for anyone that wants it again is at the bottom. It is Raw by Aalanah, or you can email her at rawbyalaina@gmail.com or text during business hours 919-295-6309, 8 to 5 Monday through Friday or 12 to 4 on the weekends. If you do outside of those hours, you will get responded to, just not during that time frame. Um, Also, one more time, just want to let you know, it got somebody else that shadows like it might be mommy.
yeah. Hey, mom.
So, just like mommy and sister, we are extremely proud of you as well. It takes a lot sometimes to start a business, to sustain it, and to believe in your product, to believe in yourself and to get to that point of peace. So I think that is phenomenal. And thank you so much for stopping by. Okay.
Oh, no problem at all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you soon. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, y'all. We have had an amazing night thus far with the podcast. So, from, being able to experience how to take care of your body through what you're consuming and healthy consumptions of food, to being able to learn about supporting our community as far as backpack drives, and down to learning about how to take care of our skin, our having products that are going to work for us, that are going to even give us peace, and knowing that they are healthier. Now our last set of guests are two individuals that show how loving yourself, loving your family, and being at peace, what it can create, those bonds, and just the beauty of that process. So I'm going to bring up Dr. Dexter Easley and his daughter Delisha. Um, they are both a author of some things, and so I'm gonna let them tell you about it. So let me go ahead and bring them on up. I just don't think I'm gonna do it enough justice. So I'm gonna let them tell you specifically what they have going on, and just so you can find out a little about them. So I'm gonna take a back seat. I'm gonna let you all just go ahead and tell us about the greatness that you all have going on.
All right. I guess my dad wants me to go. I see him motioning. he just put his hands up.
Here
He's
you
like,
go.
that's you. Right now we have our new book, Letters from
Okay.
the Heart. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, that's our new book that we actually
Oh,
wrote together about our relationship. You have the book. Yes, great. There it is. That's the cover.
that
Letters
is a
from the
gorgeous
Heart.
cover, by the way. Okay.
Thank you. Yes, that was a tremendous photo shoot that we end up deciding to be the cover.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so we have that. That's like the book that we're talking about, and I think that um, they wanted us to talk about tonight. We each are
Mhm.
individual authors. I have two books that Not Everyone is Having Sex, Purpose in the Process. And
Ooh.
then my dad is also an author, and we are both ministers of the gospel. Let me see, I'm trying to think of whatever else we have. Uh, yeah, we do a lot. We are from coast to coast, literally.
Yeah.
I'm in LA, and he's
Mhm.
based in in Goose Creek, South Carolina. There you
Oh, I
go.
have family from
Um,
Charleston. We'll have to talk after this,
Okay,
guys.
so he's closer. He's closer to you,
Mhm.
than I am. But yeah, that's what we have going on right now. Our book is doing very well around the
Yes.
nation, and we've had great feedback. It's on our from our publisher's website, from Amazon,
Mhm.
as well as our own websites. You can go to delishaeasley.com, bookstoliveby.com, and get this amazing book. Dad, you want to add anything?
Well, I just wanted to thank you so much for having us just in the cool spot. We appreciate this I guess this interview, this time that we could talk about letters from the heart. I just know that it's from my heart, and it really would bless people. It's been blessing so many. The greatest thing that I get from the book is that hearing someone come up to me and say that they renewed their relationship with their family member, their father or their
Mm.
mother. It has just been incredible. I just a comment a few moments ago, just a couple of hours ago, about how their family was broken up and just a mess, and how God just brought it back together. And this book, they picked up the book by
Mhm.
hearing, got it from Amazon, and started reading it. And they said it just couldn't put it down because of the story of this reconciliation and healing
Mhm.
that God brought with me and Delisha. And we kind of just share our hearts on how that happens, and how you can walk through that, especially in the Black community,
Mhm.
where fathers really don't share their story. And if their
Mhm,
children really understood their story and understood where they come from, they understand the makeup of their father and why some of the things that he did, not justifying it, but why they
Mhm.
respond the way they do. And especially because you don't have good examples. And so Delisha and I have to always give it to her, because it was her idea and her concept of writing the book. She actually took my business and put it out in the street. It was what she did.
All your business, huh? She said, "Thanks, Dad. Here you go."
So right. So and we started writing. I wrote her a letter. And that's why it's called
Mhm,
Letters from the Heart. It's me writing her and then her responding to the letters that I wrote her, just
mhm,
sharing with that. We had our communication that broke down for several years,
mhm,
and we wasn't talking and anything like that. And but we was communicating, but we just didn't have that love, that that deep
mhm,
communication. It was and I knew that it was a reason, and we understood that I was fearful of
mhm,
her rejecting me. If I go to her, will she reject
mm,
me as a father? Will she receive me? I mean, and so I didn't know how to go. And here I am, a successful pastor, a successful businessman, and here I am having this challenge with my daughter, and communicating. That is, it was just
mhm,
difficult. So as I wrote these letters to her, and she wrote and responded back to me, it
mhm,
began to build a relationship that and we learned so much. We learned just so much about each other and about how we both was raised. I mean, my oldest daughter, she is 40 years old. I think she's 40
Your
41.
oldest daughter's 40?
Yeah, yes,
41.
41, 41, forty
You
one.
sure about that?
Yeah,
We all
yeah.
just had birthdays.
I know
Well,
y'all all
okay.
had birthday.
She's like, just
19.
a reminder, Dad.
Right. No, they got
It's literally all back to back. It's the 19th, the 20th, and the 22nd.
the second.
Did you play in that? The 19th, the 20th, and the 22nd? Look, all you were missing was the
No.
21st. He said, I'm gonna give a break. He said, my heart needs a quick break in between.
Hey, stop. But that's kind of our story, and we are sharing it everywhere we go and on our different platforms. And
Mhm,
Delisha, she may could talk about the beginning of the book, because in the beginning we kind of deal with the statistics on how it breaks down in the relationship of the
mhm,
family.
Yeah, I wrote the forward. We went back and forth on that, but we wanted this to be not only our story but also a resource
okay.
to people. And so we did a lot of research. My background is in education and psychology, and so I was, I'm always like, but what did the stats say? Like so.
Mhm,
I wanted to show people what the stats said, and then also prove the importance of having a quality relationship with your father. And I know that
mhm,
sometimes we can't because our fathers may have passed, or it's just impossible to connect with them because of where they are. But we do have things that we address on how to step on a very basic platform.
okay.
Before you're taking on, we do encourage people to go to therapy, to seek out Christian counselors, preferably, to help you through that process. One of the things that I get a lot of feedback on from young women who have either DM me or just text me or whatever, were the 5 reasons that it's important. I think this is on page 20 and 21. I don't have the book in front of me. I have completely sold out. So I am going off of memory and notes that I have. But anyways, there's 5 things. Dads create the gold standard for future romantic relationships. Another thing is a father's love and acceptance greatly impacts future confidence.
Mhm,
Girls with involved fathers do better academically. Fathers often encourage their daughters to take risks and be adventurous. The 5th thing is supportive fathers can help improve their daughter's body image. And these are things that have been proven through studies that different sociologists as well as psychologists have done with groups of women, specifically between the ages of 18 and 34. And this is things that they've come up with, a part of the results. So I feel like it's really important. Like my dad said, we were both doing our own thing, and it wasn't, we were being successful. We both love God. We were both still praying,
mhm,
but we still didn't have that bond and that true connection because it was very superficial. And like my dad said, we had to go deep. I don't tell all of his business. He wrote me the
yeah.
letters. So it's his business that he decided to share.
Mhm,
We had a great publisher and editor who helped us,
Yes.
cultivate the book into easy friendly. My sister, who I'm with right now, one of my sisters, she read the book. You know, we already, you know, Ivania, she's a fast reader, but she read the book and she was just like, I'm so proud of you guys. This is so great. And she's like, I think I learned stuff about you and I lived in the house with you that I didn't know.
Right. Well, she said the
But
same thing to me too.
right. So it was a lot, but it's just great to see the healing process, and then just making sure that we encourage people that you can get there, and that is never too late. You couldn't tell me a year ago or even 2 years ago that I would write a book with my dad, and that I would write a book about our personal life to share with other people. But I think when you know your assignment that God has given you is bigger than you,
Yes.
so the least that I can do is tell them a little bit of my business so that other people can start healing in their own families.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Yes, you may.
Okay.
Me?
Look, I didn't know you were
Okay.
gonna if y'all were still going.
I know.
So, just for one, just seeing you all communicate, I love it. I am a daddy's girl to the core. Um,
Aw,
my dad passed a couple of years ago, but he was a pastor,
wow.
and so just
Wow.
our relationship dynamic was just amazing. That was my best friend. Like he told me, even when I was little, I wouldn't even let him go. Like if he was going to the bathroom, he'd be like, "I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna be right back. I promise." But so looking at you all, just the way you smile at each other, the way you talk to each other, I'm like, oh, this reminds me of dad. And I think
Aw.
like when I think about how many people don't have relationships with their fathers, or don't know what that's like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's something that I can't imagine not ever having felt. And so
Mhm.
to know that sometimes that relationship could be disjointed, you can
Yeah.
be in the house, but I mean, I know even sometimes, personally, I mean, anytime I feel like your parents are ministers, or one is a minister, or you're in the church, there's always your parent is not solely yours, by no
Right.
means. Like they're the churches. And so sometimes you're like, I just want my dad, or I just want
Right.
this, and you're having to share. And so it that alone is an experience. And so I can only imagine how amazing this book is. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna get my own copy because I know Lemoy has one. I'm gonna get my own copy.
Yes,
But
he does have one.
look, if he takes too long, I'm gonna read his while my copy's on the way.
Okay.
Um but I can only, imagine how that dynamic was, and what you all grew through, because it could take so many different turns and lights. I mean, I
Yeah.
remember one time I was just like, can I have my dad back now, guys? Like, just can we cut the phone off for a little bit? Because they have to be at such an unselfish place. And also
Mhm.
with you being a minister, understanding that, and then personally having that mantle as well. I I'm excited to read it. Let me say that. I'm
Yeah.
I'm just super excited. In my head,
Yes.
I've come up with it, what it is already, and so I'm interested to see what I think is correct. Look, Lemoy's commenting right now that it's a phenomenal book, so I'm excited.
Yeah,
Um,
it is. Did you have a question? I'm sorry, I
I,
didn't want to cut you
no, no,
off.
no, no. Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, I would just wanted to say, like, in regards to that, especially you being because I didn't know a lot about you. Lemoy did not give us a background on you guys. He just asked for
I know
all of
y'all like
our
y'all want me to
information.
talk to y'all, right? Okay.
Right. But yeah, it's good to hear. I think when you're called into something similar as your parents, you begin to understand it, and as you mature in your walk with
Mhm.
God, you understand the balance. And then also, I think my parents also too recognize. Now, my dad could talk to this, but the importance of communicating with us, and then some of that actually caused our relationship to be distant. So he was absent, but not really present as much as the quality time. And that's one of the things that we found
Mm.
out for me, like one of my love languages. So it's like those are things that helped our relationship by identifying those love languages. But I think especially in the church, we need to have these type of conversations, and we hope that our book helps that and helps the church dynamic, especially leaders, not try
Yeah.
to be perfect, but actually deal with having a family and having ministry and how to balance that, and the importance of quality time, because I don't think God calls you to something that you're not able to do,
Right.
So
My dad knows that his legacy is important, and that's first found in his seed, which is his children, and then
Mhm.
also his ministry. Now you can add to that, Daddy. That was from a child's perspective.
Yeah. Well, I think the transparency is what you said a little bit. I think that as a pastor coming up and ministering and caring for the flock of God's people it's difficult to try to balance that. And I think the transparency, being real about it, that we did struggle. I did struggle. You know, I never was a pastor before until I became a pastor. So I had to
Right.
learn and things like that. And then
Mhm.
we planted the church from the ground up. So that means that we walked into a church, not walked into a church, but started a church with just 5 people, and moved
Mhm.
from our room and then we moved from a different state. We was in Atlanta. We moved to South Carolina. So all of those things were challenging to the household, and plus I was working a full-time job and doing those things as well as plus as doing business as well. So it was a lot of time. So and that's why I said before, right now, us writing this book and being able to get it in the pastor's hand and let them know the value of that
Mhm.
relationship is so important, and that transparency and being real about things that happens, that when they look at a pastor and their children, they feel like we should be perfect, and we're not.
Yes.
We're flawed. We're flawed individuals, attempting to do what God have called us to do, but we allow God to mold us into what he's called us to be. And I became
Mhm.
a better man as a result of my children. My children helped me navigate through my life, because they actually helped me to understand what my love language was and why I feel a certain way and how that works.
Mhm.
So going back and looking over my life, I will tell pastors today is to manage your time wisely, and to be able to sow in those moments. Now, we did take time and we made valuable of those moments. I was there, but I was still so engrossed in the other things that I had to do, that I was
Mhm.
still there at the household, but still absent in some of those other areas of
Mm.
relationship, especially emotionally. Emotionally,
Mhm.
I was, because I was focused. I was young, a lot younger. I was focused on this, doing this, doing the business, running a business, and then doing church. It was just, I was wanted to be a success, and we wanted to make sure my family was taken care of. So,
Mm.
and that's in the book as well, how I became that way, because it was a reason why I became that way. And the reason
Mhm.
why I became that way was a result of me being without a father. My father and mom got a divorce when I was 12. And so when they got a divorce, of course, my father was lived in California. We moved to Atlanta, and that separation, I was looking for that father figure, and who I came into contact with, and the things that I always heard was that a man going to take care of his home. He needs to work. He
Mhm.
needs to work. He needs to work. He needs to work. And so that was instilled in me, and then the poverty that I came through, and the things that I did in the streets and things, all that's in the book. And I just said I would never feel that way again, and will not allow my family to go through anything. So because of that, even though I was
Mhm.
pursuing the success, pursuing those things, um, I forgot the emotional state that my daughter needed me to be a part of that.
Mhm.
I was her protector. I was her, I was her best cheerleader. But sometime in those emotional times when she wanted to hear from dad, just dad, I just want to talk to you. And
Mhm.
I recant, me and her, and Delisha talks about it a lot. Well, I remember late night at about 12 midnight, I would that'd be about the quietest time I can get. I'll be downstairs and I'll go in the kitchen, and she'll hear me in the kitchen, and I'm in there making what they call a hoagie. That's a sandwich. And
Mhm.
so I'm in there making that sandwich, and she hears me, and she walks down, and she'll stand right at that corner of that door and look at me and says, "Dad." I said, "Yep." And then she'll say, "Hey, make me one." I cut her half of the sandwich, and we'll sit down in the chair and look at an old movie, and we look at an old movie.
Oh.
Back in the 70 movie, she's sitting there laughing and going on. Then she falls asleep. And so
Oh.
those are days that I remember. But once again, it was just that time. And so those are good things that we talk about, not in the book necessarily, but we kind of give you some how to's. And that's one thing I love about Delisha, is that my daughter, she really helped us stay to how to do it, how to leave, how to go from this point to that, to be free. and then at
Mm.
the end of it, get it unraveled and look at it. And it's a small book. Like I said, it's not a big book. It's small. We did that on purpose because we didn't want it to be long and inundated with a lot of information. We wanted people to
Mhm.
see a snippet or take a picture of what we're doing, and then say, okay, let me get
Mhm.
started and do that. And so and that's kind of what it is.
So, my next question is there another
Your
book
next
after
question.
this? My next question, because now, like, I'm super excited. Like, yeah, y'all don't understand. I'm just too elated to go read this book. Like, I don't know how else it. Like, when I say I look at y'all, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like, even down to part of your growing up, I'm like, this is so similar. Like, this is very interesting. Like, I want to read this book. I'm ready. I might go to Lemoy's house and just hijack his book today.
Okay.
Um,
Good,
so
good,
Lemoy, I know
good.
you're watching. If you see me at your house, just know, just hand over the book. Um, but so from here, what's next? I
Yeah,
mean, I know you both have your separate ministries.
yeah.
And I know Delisha talked about another book. And we're gonna get to that because that title just sounded very entertaining. Like, okay,
Yeah.
um, like it's something that every young woman needs to have,
Yes.
her own personal ammo. But is there anything? Is there any sequel or anything else that might come from this book, or is this kind of like we've taught you how to do it, now go do it? Like, kind of go sprout your wings, go do it.
Well, I start off because this is what happened, and I'll kind of get. We because of COVID happened, we were actually going to do a tour, and
Okay.
so we still want to do the tour and still go around and share and do seminars and things of that nature as well.
Okay.
And I told her before is that we're going to definitely do another book because I think it's going to be a little bit different, but cover some of the things that's needed. But one of the things that we really want to do is really that's what we talked about, that we wanted to kind of make sure that we do those things, those camps, to where we have families come and we'll be able
Hmm.
to minister to them as well. So we
Mhm.
will still want to do that as we open back up. But
Okay.
I told her, I think a couple of weeks ago, I think I told Delisha that I think we're gonna have to do another book. I think that's what it is, but it
You
hurts
you
so
see
bad.
how that switch free, right?
Right.
Because
You made him.
at
You put
first
his arm. Now
I
look.
was the one pulling teeth to get him to write one book. Now he's like, oh yeah, we have plenty of books. We're doing seminars. We're going across the world. I'm like, oh, okay, okay.
He said,
That's
"Y'all
what we're
touring
doing.
now. Look, you
I'm
planted
forward
the
now.
seed, and now it grew.
Exactly,
He's ready.
There
He's
exactly.
like,
it is.
he's taking off and running. Okay. Now, Delisha, tell me about the other books that you have.
Okay, so my very first book I wrote was Not Everyone is Having Sex.
Okay.
And that's pretty obvious with the title, what that's
Hmm.
about. And then the other one is Purpose in the Process.
Okay.
That's like what my, I guess, platform or ministry is built off of, is just about purpose, encouraging men and women, young people specifically, just to get through purpose and understand that it's a process, that you don't have to, especially with social media nowadays, everyone feels like by 30 they need to be a multimillionaire and they need to have, 3 and 4
Right.
businesses. Like, that's amazing if you get there. I'm not telling anyone not to do that, but I'm just
Hmm.
saying, understand that it is a process, and to find purpose within what you're called to do, because it's not necessarily the end of what you're destined to do. So
Mm.
that's kind of, that's pretty much what I what I do. I
Okay.
have numerous interviews and talk to youth and stuff like that about that, about purpose.
Now, I have another question for you.
Yes.
At what point did you know that you also had a calling on your life? Were you young and then you kind of like were you young and then you kind of ran from it, or you ran to it? Were you just ready to embrace it? How did that process go?
Okay, so what's something that's amazing about my dad and our story is that at the same age that he like was completely embracing the world was the
Mhm.
same age that I embraced my calling. So he was 12 years old and he's like, I'm about to be the man of the house because he's the oldest and
Mhm.
about to hit the streets and do what I got to do. And at that same age, I was on my first mission trip in Mexico. And I was the first person in my family
Wow.
to go out of the country. And so from a very young age, I had a relationship with God. Our parents never forced God on us. We went to
Mhm.
church. Now that was, not
Mandatory.
optional. Yeah. But they did have a conversation with us when we were like preteens, like, hey,
Mhm.
do you really have a relationship with God? You don't have to come to every midweek service unless you want to. And of course, we're like, yes, like we about to stay at home. I have
Right.
homework every. And so it turned into, I was like, wait, but I actually really want to go to church. Like I actually
Mhm.
like going. And so I think I struggled with that as a teen, like trying to be cool or, trying to be relevant. And that was a struggle between that. But I actually accepted the call at a young age. And for the most part, I've stayed committed to that.
That's
And,
phenomenal.
and mine was a little different. I came, like she said, I came from the streets. So I was,
Mhm.
when I got born again, I gave my heart to Christ, and immediately the Lord started dealing with me, and called me into the ministry, and that's kind of it. I'd never been in, was a church guy. I wasn't doing church. I was
Mhm.
straight off. I was off the street, got born again, and then my life totally changed. Once I got born again, once I got saved that day, I never went back to the world. And in the book, it talks about, because when I gave my heart to Jesus, it was a challenge, not because of me, more so what I was into. It caused
Mhm.
that when I gave my heart to Jesus Christ, there was actually a contract put out on my life after I did that.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's in the book. I think it tells a little bit about it in the book, but that's
Yeah, it
kind of
does.
what happened. It does, yeah. It kind of talks a little bit about it in the book.
Hmm. Now, do you have other books as
Yes, I
well?
do. Yes, I do. I
Okay.
have several books. I have a book that's called Prayer in the Midst of the Storm. It talks about
Mhm.
praying when the difficult times. Then I have Increase in Spite of the Storm. That's a book talking about how to increase your economically and financially, regardless of what's going on in your life. Then I have a
Mhm.
book called The Real God Man. The Real God Man is a man. It's not really, I wrote that book not for men, but I wrote it for women because I was getting so many women counseling them, and they would say, hey, they bring this guy in, and this guy, oh, I want to marry this guy. This guy don't fit nothing the criteria that they really need to marry. And so I
Mm.
said, you know what, I'm going to write a book and just say, hey, this is what you need in a man. And so the Real God Man, it talks about it. It talks about if a man doesn't have a vision when he meets you, he can't take you anywhere. So
Mm. I need that
so
book too.
so so and so it talks about that, the Real God Man. And then I have of course a book, it's called The Wisdom Keys. It's just got different little quotes in there that I quoted, the wisdom keys and things like that. I
Mhm.
got yeah, so got several books.
Do we have some book bundles?
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
Delisha's
Get the
doing the
package
bundle.
bundles. They're packaged together.
What she's doing, she's doing a bundle. And
Okay.
if you contact her, she's doing a bundle. I'm not
Okay.
doing a bundle yet because she's doing one that's with, if you get letters from the heart, she'll
Mhm.
give you a workbook talking about purpose, and the
Mhm.
purpose book. She'll give you that. And I think
Mhm.
it's for $35, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? $35. And
Yes.
you can get that whole kit. Now, for those that desire to, I told them that I was going to do it, but I was going to do it on this particular platform. But
Mhm.
I can let your friends know as well.
Okay.
I will put, if they get this the letters from the heart. We'll put with it for $25. We'll put
Mhm.
with it the Real God Man, the Real God Man book. My Real God Man book will go along with it. So I wasn't
Okay.
going to do that, because
Let me
Delisha
talk to
gives
your
away.
resource center. Like, make sure they
Right,
watch
right,
it.
right. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, cause see,
Keeping you together,
and the,
huh?
yeah, and those that's viewing this, you guys, I don't know what I'm doing when I start talking about that. My whole resource company, I can get in trouble. So I don't know if that figure is
You can
right, but
discount your books, but you can't discount letters from the heart.
yeah, I can't discount letters from the heart, and I
Public
can
press.
discount my book by my publisher, but my publisher won't allow me to discount this one. It's
I said,
hard
look,
out
we're
here
gonna
in the
work it out
street.
somehow, y'all. Okay.
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. They rough on us. They rough on us.
Oh, now okay. So, question. So, with COVID happening, I know as far as book sales. I mean, well, not
Yes,
book
ma'am.
sales, but I know as far as like the book and being able to push it and do the tours that you wanted to do, you've had to kind of
Right.
hold off on that. I know you said the
Right.
book is still doing amazing.
Mhm.
What about ministry wise, like not being able to physically go to church and with all the stipulations kind of changing and going back and forth? How are you all making it through that? What is that looking like for your platforms individually?
Individually, but I know I'm streaming live and things of that nature as well. And then
Okay.
I have leadership that I teach on live Zoom as well.
Hmm.
So we are utilizing those things for that, for that purpose in my ministry. Far as the book
Okay.
wise, we're thinking of ways. I think Delisha's coming up with her group is coming up with a way that we can kind of promote it, and
Hmm.
more so on this type of platform. And that's why we are accepting all of these interviews online, for we can be able to be able to get us out there and people can know
Right.
that we are, because we both travel quite a bit, and that's our normal way that we promote ourselves is through traveling.
Hmm.
And so
Okay.
but yeah, and so when we travel and then we get into a city or something like that, we share the book, things like that. But with all of the things that we got on the platform that we have, because we have it in the ebook, we have it in the ebook form, you can download it. We got it,
Hmm.
of course,
It's
on
on Apple
Amazon.
Books.
It's on Apple Books as
Okay.
well. It's and so we have it on different areas that they can get it from. And so we're trying to open up that stream in order for people can have no excuse say I can't get it. You can get it and as well. So on
Okay.
those platforms. Go ahead, Delisha.
Awesome.
You smiled
Yeah,
about something.
I think for me, it's been a lot of invitations. I have another interview
Yeah.
tomorrow. So everything that I'm doing, I'm just including letters from the heart, and letting people know that this is a new book that we have and that we can do things virtually. Last weekend, we were just at the Harlem Book Fair virtually.
Yeah.
So we had a prime spot. We were right after the comedian Tommy Davidson. So a
Hmm.
lot of people got to see us, and um, it's like, I believe in you praying and believing God and, confessing these things and it comes to pass. So how many
Come to
type
Hmm.
of
pass.
interviews we
Amen.
want a week and how many books we want sold. And so we're accomplishing that. It's just in a different
Yeah.
way. God is amazing. That's all I can say. He's still
Yeah.
providing.
Yes.
I've been given two other opportunities that will start in August. So you just have to follow me. I can't talk
Okay.
about them, but it will be
Right.
platforms that I didn't plan on being on, but just God opening the door and us reaching thousands of people. So I'm just grateful that we're still able to make a global impact. And we probably are reaching more people globally now than with our own little plan, like
Hmm.
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
because of it,
Yeah.
everything's on the internet.
Right.
So, I have my friends that from Venezuela, people that were in Peru that have reached out and they're like, "Hey, I'm watching
Hmm.
you," like they've seen the lives, they're watching. And, I'll shout all of those people out if you're watching now, but it's getting out there. And I think that that's the main thing.
That I think that's the interesting part about this pandemic that has occurred. That it hasn't originally it stopped stuff for maybe a couple weeks, and then it was just like
Mhm.
life has to go on. How do we push through it? And it's become so much larger than us all.
Yeah.
And I think that that has become such a jewel, people being able to touch people in different countries that they never would have thought would have been possible, and people not
Right.
having the time to sit down to be able to receive it, right? They're ripping and
Right.
Yeah.
running. We're all guilty of that. Like you said, you are all generally traveling all the time. How many times do we get to just sit in our own house and enjoy it? A house that we
Yeah.
pay
That's
for,
true.
and just be like, you know what, this is kind of pretty. Okay, maybe I want to do this work or I want to do this task,
Yeah.
but to be able to like sit down and just be like, I'm okay in the confines of this house if I have to
Yes.
sit here. And that also, I think, allows people to realize, you know what? Am I where I need to be at spiritually? Like, even in the spiritual
Amen.
aspect, because if I
Amen.
can't sit still and deal with me, right, and kind of look at myself, like, I might need to be in my prayer closet. And I was avoiding
Right.
it because I was on the go.
That
And
part.
so me and Lemoy have these conversations because Lemoy is a minister as well. And so,
Okay.
just like I know you said y'all didn't know too much about us. So Lemoy's a minister. Um, I'm not a minister. I'm just, kind of always around, like, I've been in church. I've been in church my whole life. Now I've been told a whole bunch of different stuff. I'm like, I don't know about that yet. But, I'm like, I don't know if it's a running thing.
I have a question for you then. Are you
Oh
running?
Lord, what's the
Oh,
question?
Are
Oh,
you running?
you said that in front of a
I don't know.
pastor, Free. You walked right into that one, sweetie.
I,
I was
you
trying to
know, I
I was trying to do a
you
sign to
probably
you
was
to
like,
stop.
look, and I didn't even look at it. Yeah,
Are
you
you
know.
running?
Hmm,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
hmm.
Yeah, you need to get
Mm-hmm.
the bundle deal on the purpose book. We'll bring it back.
Yeah, this sounds like a me a little more conversation on a regular basis. Free, what you running from? I don't know. Yeah, but I have realized that I had to work on my relationship with God because I'm a person I
Hmm.
like to stay busy, and then sometimes I can tell you what it is that I'm doing, and it's like, oh, well, we're working on a podcast, or we're doing this, or we're doing that. But then other times it's like, I don't know, like I'm busy doing something, and then I have a 7-year-old, so I'm a single mom as well. So it's always
Hmm.
balancing her schedule, because she feels like she's a baby grown up and, having
Uh-huh.
25 things going on. And so, it's always interesting. And so I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna get that purpose book. I'm gonna do my workbook and I'm gonna come back and take pictures
Amen.
like Dr. Easley. I finished it. Okay.
Amen.
This is what I found
Amen.
out. I don't want to know it right now, but because I think
now,
that's the that's the thing.
now, if you want to put this in there, newlifegcsc.org. That's my website. Newlifegcsc.org. If you could
Okay.
put that website in, and I think Delisha's going to give you hers as well. And the reason why I'm giving you mine is because I want you to go over there and take this little. It's a test in there you can take, and we can find out your spiritual gifts.
Mm,
So when you go to
Yep.
my website, you'll be able to go there and find
You
find out
know,
your
he's
spiritual
real
gift.
nice, like Free. He's like, "This is you getting
am I
this
gonna be
tonight.
ready for it? I'm gonna be like, oh, he be like, so
You
you get
are
this
going to
work
be
done.
ready." I think that I'm going to say. Can I say one more thing, Free? I
Yeah.
don't know what our time is looking like. I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
looking at. I was just like, are we
You
doing
know,
this too long?
we just kind of forgot the time.
But
It's okay.
oh, okay. So so another thing I think too that my dad and I learned about ourselves too is that when you're doing kingdom work, and I want to say kingdom on purpose, the kingdom of
Yeah.
God and not church, you
Mm,
don't limit yourself to church titles and positions. And so like
true.
Mm,
True.
my dad is not, he understood my calling was, I'm being a little kid saying that I'm called to the nations. And he's like, what? Like, like we'll have a passport, sweetie. Like, maybe not.
mhm.
But then the opportunity came and it was, and I've been on mission trips ever since. And it doesn't, I don't have to be a traditional. I am ordained and licensed
Mhm.
and a missionary or whatever, but some of the things when God is causing us to come into different avenues, such as entertainment or government or something like that, we're not coming in with priestly collars. We're coming in as
Mhm.
Right.
individuals who are saying we're not of this world. We live in this world, but we're kingdom citizens and we're bringing something different. And I think
Mhm.
that this pandemic is highlighting that more so that we as kingdom representatives are identifying each other and standing up in these different environments. God wants us to be knowledgeable and creative because these are gifts He's given us, but it's not
Mhm.
for ourselves. Like He's given you, I'm assuming poetry because of your name.
Yes.
It's like that is a ministry in itself. A poem can minister to someone. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be a sermon like
Mhm.
a lot of people sometimes get. And I'm not saying this is you. I'm just saying for those who may be listening, do not get hung up on,
Mhm.
well, I don't know. I don't think I fit as a pastor, or I don't think I fit as an evangelist. Like, I just really love people, or, or I just like to
Mhm.
share, encourage others. Like you being a poet is still a ministry, it's still a gift to be used by God. So
Yeah. And
that's
then
Mhm.
all.
she gets, yeah, and Free, you get indoors that others will not be able with your poetry. That's so
Mhm.
awesome. So you truly are a blessing. So we appreciate that too.
Oh, well, thank you. I feel like y'all done gave me a whole rendition. Like, get your life together. Like, with the niceness, like we just gonna leave it right there. But that's your ministry too. Just okay, all right. Go take that test now. It was so nice. It was like, okay. But no, I do think that that's important because so many people, like, you hear the word ministry, you like, or
Right.
people hear the word mental, you like, oh no, I don't want any of that. Don't give it to me. um and it does a lot of times scare people, so I think that is a good thing to put it in perspective, that your gift doesn't necessarily have to be confined to the church building, or
Yes.
just that it's so much bigger than that. And so I think that I appreciate that, being completely honest, even though I was joking.
Amen.
I appreciate that, and I think that it's important for believers to be in different environments where they can connect and they can
Yes.
get that
Yes.
confirmation,
Amen.
or that like-minded like-minded spirits, like-minded thoughts, and just realignment, because a lot of times it's the fact that we're always not aligned, and sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we
Yeah.
need that just to kind of be able to just reel it on in. So
That's
I
true.
I appreciate y'all. Like, I feel like, we can do this like once a week whenever y'all are free. Just let me know. Be like, Rita, come on. All right. I mean, like, I'm added to the family, guys. Let's go. But in all seriousness, we definitely appreciate you all coming on. I definitely know that Lamoy, hates that he did miss this session. I take notes with everything, guys. So if y'all randomly see me over here with this little pen over here, like, I probably have 2 pages of notes from today, just because I like to try to take down notes, and whatever hits me or inspires me from conversations, I try to
Mm,
jot it down so that I can always revisit it and go back over it later. And
Right.
I think sometimes there's a reason why people remind us of certain things. And
yeah.
I think God is an interesting and a funny God like that. I think sometimes he's just like, okay, you don't want to see it one way, catch this, I'm gonna do it another way. And God knows however he needs to grasp your attention in whatever light that is. And there's probably
Right.
even
Amen.
somebody listening. They're like, you know what, somebody else said this, and they just kind of brought it back, and working through the purpose and realizing everybody's not doing what social media says, and how
Mm-hmm.
we
Right.
so many times give reality to what we see on social media. We take it as
Right.
this is true, like it was act of
Right.
God, it happened, it was on Instagram. And it's just like, no, it's not, baby. It's not.
Right.
No. So I think
But
it's important to analyze that. And even like you talked about mission trips, I think some of us that, might have big hearts don't know always how to help, or,
mm-hmm.
what that calling could be or what that could look like. So I think all of those things are important. And
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate y'all coming up here and kicking it at the cool spot and telling us some
Thank
good
you.
stuff and reevaluating our lives.
Thank you for having us.
No
Thank you
problem.
for having us.
Yes, I do want to offer you all another 1 to 2 minutes just to kind of tell everybody again where they can follow you, why they should be compelled to just kind of look up some stuff, why is it essential to kind of just even analyze relationships that they have. So I just want to give y'all, a couple more minutes to just close out and, say what else it is that you might have on your heart to say.
I'm gonna let Delisha go first.
Oh, okay. I went first the last time. So,
Right.
for me, I just want to say you can go to delishaeasley.com to see what I'm doing and to get the book, Letters from the Heart. This is not just a book about father and daughter, it's about parent and child relationships and healing them and getting to, most importantly, a place of healing for yourself. The first step in any relationship is forgiving yourself and working on you. Love yourself. God loves you. And remember that. And then the other thing is my social media. I am Delisha E on Instagram, Delisha E on Facebook, and I am Delisha E on Twitter and Instagram. It's the same. You can follow me there to get more up to date on interviews where we will be virtually. Right now, we're virtually in North Carolina with this humidity. Help us, Lord.
Yes.
And, and that's about it. I just want to encourage all children, and then I'll say something for the pastors' kids, especially to this book. It will be helpful to you as well because you know ministry
Mhm.
and you understand the idea of being a pastor's child or minister's child, what that involves in, and whatever you do, don't ever stop loving God. And that's it.
Amen.
Okay.
Well, Well, Delisha told you about where to get the book. I just want to take a moment and just talk to those men that may view this and some of the as some of the young men. And I just want to take a few minutes just to pray for you if I can before we close out today. I think that will be the best gift I can give you right now is to pray that you have the wisdom of God. So, Father, in the name of Jesus, you said in your word, Lord, that if we lack wisdom, that we can ask of you. So, Father, we ask for wisdom. You give us wisdom. You direct our path today. And I pray for those that have joined us today. And I pray that, Lord God, you begin to guide them and lead them, restore the relationships and families, heal the brokenhearted, mend them in the name of Jesus. We thank you for that, Father. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 All
Well,
right.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Give me just 1 second. We're gonna get ready to close on out. Again, thank you for kicking it with the cool spot. This has been a wrap up of our business spotlight, and you all have a great evening. Catch you next time.